Hello, everyone. We are live. This is Clydesdale Media Podcast. I am Kat Shear. I'm here with Scott Schweitzer, the Clydesdale, and our special guest, Scott Tetlow. Scott,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are y'all?
We're good.
Great.
Last time we talked to you was after the games. We did like a post show and you kind of came on and gave us a little info on the workouts and things, but I wanted to check up on you first. Your wife, Samantha, just had a baby,
Yes, we did. Officially
Bradley.
two months old today.
2 months old. So how has that been going for you?
Minimum sleep, and well, I wouldn't say minimum. My wife and I have a pretty good schedule, but with she was off for like the first month, so it's kind of easier because she kind of did everything. But now that she's back working, that is kind of put a little bit more on me a little bit to try to share the load since we're both working. And so, but my wife and I got a pretty good schedule going on, and we're sticking to it. So it's going as smooth as it can go.
The schedule is important. How does this compare to when Bradley was a baby?
Don't
you have another son, or is it her
I do.
son?
I have a 7-year-old. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been so long that that was our first child. It's good though because Easton, he's 7 now, so he kind of helps out. He goes, Dad, can I like hold him? Can I do this? Can I feed him? Like, by all means, dude, you can feed him, whatever. Just watch his head, and I'll be, of course, my wife and I will be right next to him while he do it. But even if he does take like feeds him for like 5 minutes, there's 5 less minutes that I have to do it. Or, he's very helpful. Like, hey, go get me a diaper, go get this, or so he's being a real trooper right now and helping us out a lot. So that's the big difference. Before, just with Easton, it was just my wife and I. So right. So now we have somewhat of kind of an extra helping hand to get the little stuff.
So last time I saw you in person was at Syndicate Crown, and you were hauling ass after the competition because you had a sick kid. So how does having kids affect your training schedule, your competition schedule, all of that?
See, I think the biggest word there is schedule. I don't have one. It's kind of everything relates around the kids, my wife's job, and my job. So I get in when I can, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Like the other day, like my son, I got a phone call from school the other day, and of course I'm off work, or I got off work around like 2:00 that day, and my wife's like, hey, can you go get them? Because I'll be on this. And so I was like, okay, well, I was going to go to the gym. She was like, well, I'm stuck here. So, okay, cool. So I came home, and I had to like shift my entire training plan for the night, do something because I had to figure out something to do at my house. So I don't really have a schedule. I kind of just, whenever I have time available, that's when I train for everything.
I wanted to just going back to the kids, because I'm curious. Bradley David is a pretty traditional name.
Yes.
Easton Layton, not so traditional.
Okay.
Are there stories behind the names of those boys and how you came to those?
So Easton, wife and
please tell me it's a baseball reference.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because that's
okay,
all
good.
I played. That's all I played football and baseball growing up, and my passion was baseball. So like I always thought Easton was like a cool name, and my wife and I were talking about names whenever she was pregnant, and I kind of just threw out the name. I was like, man, I really like the name Easton, and she was like, okay, let's do it. What do you think the middle name would be? I was like, why not my middle name? Because my middle name's Layton. And Easton Layton Tetlow, and that's how it came to be. And yeah, it's a baseball reference. So now whenever he plays baseball, he goes, I'm so good, I got a baseball bat named after me. You know?
Exactly.
So that, and then Bradley David is I don't know how we came upon Bradley, but David is my wife's father's name. So so I'm a junior. So my dad's middle name is Layton. So we wanted to incorporate her dad's middle name into this name. So that's kind of how the David came into play. But Bradley was just a name that my wife and I agreed on, that we both liked.
Here, I thought it was because it was my middle name.
Yeah.
Is it what? Is that your middle name, Scott?
What? Yeah, I thought it was because it was my middle name.
I thought you were asking
Scott Bradley?
Me.
I'm Scott David.
I know.
Oh, Scott David. Okay. I'm all confused. Names. That's cool. I just wondered.
Nice.
I mean, I guess Easton's better than like Rawlings or
Yeah.
Mariano.
Yeah. What's the
Louisville Slugger.
there's another one that's Japanese, Mizuno.
Oh, Mizuno. Yeah, that's probably not a great name for a kid either. I
Yeah.
like it. Well, I hope he turns into a baseball stud. That would be cool because that is
I
a cool
hope
name.
so too.
Easton Tetlow. That's a good ring to it. Is he? Is he playing baseball at all? T-ball?
Yeah, he played this last season. Now we're getting ready. Now he's getting ready for basketball.
Okay.
So he can play basketball for a couple years until everyone starts to grow taller than him.
Basketball's a great sport for them to just like learn coordination and all that kind of stuff. Do you have him catching or no?
Catching, as in like in the catcher's position in baseball?
Yeah.
No, I told him that he was in T-ball last year, and I said, hey, no, I don't like. I know you want to catch because that's what he wanted to do. I was like, hey, right now, like I want you to wait until kids pitch to start catching. Like I'll go out there and work with you because when at T-ball, like you're not really doing anything behind the plate because you can't really, run the field. So I told him to wait till kids pitch, and then we'll maybe start throwing you in during coach's pitch or something like that. And they're just so you can get some experience back there. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to catch because he wants to be in. He wants to be in every single play. And I said, hey, that's the spot for you then.
Yeah, make sure you get him some of those knee pads, right?
The knee savers?
The knee savers?
No, I don't believe in those.
I know.
I never.
All right. So we talked last time. I'll have to remind you. You were saying that you regret that decision because of your knees,
okay, yeah.
right? I know you don't believe in them, but maybe you should believe in them.
Knees. Yeah, but I don't know. He's young. He'll recover.
I love it. Awesome. And your wife is a law enforcement officer, correct?
Yes, she is.
Are you still in the Navy?
I am.
How did you guys meet?
Plenty of fish.
It's
an online dating app.
What's it called?
I messaged her like 8 times before she finally like went out with me.
Wait.
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there an angle to that one? Is it like a Christian dating site
No, it's just like it was before the Tinder and all that stuff. So I was online, and I just met my wife online.
I love it.
So
what was your first date like?
We went and got some froyo, some ice cream, and then after that we pretty much hung out every single day.
Okay. And is she still tattooing?
She does that kind of just for fun on the side. She actually started drawing up a piece for me that I want to get.
I was gonna say, do you have anything new?
Yeah, no, nothing new because she's been so busy and tired. So she wants to practice. She's been out of it for a little bit, so she's got some. She actually got some skin to practice on or whatever. Like I don't know what it is. She calls it skin. So she's practicing on that to make sure that the line works good. She's drawing me up something right now to put on my other chest, and hopefully I'll be getting that sometime within the next 6 months.
Awesome. Okay. Scott, do you have any other personal questions for Scott before we move on? Because I just wanted to get all that out of the way.
I'm like enamored with this skin thing, and she's in law enforcement. Like, does she go into the evidence locker and it's just readily available, or
what? It's like
the skin.
It's just like thick paper. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I need to have her explain it to me for next time. But it's moleskin kind of, so where it's thicker to where you can do the lines, and it comes in like packs of skin. It's like a 6x4 inch piece of paper to practice small line work.
Got it. Is it the same stuff maybe that doctors practice on, like when they're doing sutures and stuff? Maybe. I
have no idea. Maybe.
We'll have to ask our doctor friends about that. Interesting.
Okay. Because I'm trying to get another piece myself. And so I'm just fascinated by all this.
What'd you try to get?
Something here for my dad.
Okay, nice.
And maybe finish out the sleeve.
We just had a new guy come to our affiliate, and he's a tattoo artist.
Ooh.
And you know how I want to get a Medusa really badly? Scott knows this. And he just like put up on his Instagram this really cool Medusa that he did. And I was like, oh, I've been wanting to get a Medusa. And he's like, oh, I'll do it for you. I was like, well, I gotta get to know you a little bit longer.
This was Athena. I got Athena on my chest here, and I'm kind of like, man, this is one of the tattoos that I kind of regret. So that's something that my wife is actually doing, is that she's actually going to turn her
it?
hair
Ah.
into snakes, and so she's going to turn her into Medusa
So
in a way.
cool.
So I don't know how she's going to do it. I'm going to leave the artist to work.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I'm sure she's going to crush it. But
That's
I'll
awesome.
show it to y'all.
Yeah.
So
I don't want snakes tattooed on my body, but I do want a Medusa tattoo. So I'm really torn, and I'm thinking I want someone to do something really creative with like vines and flowers instead of the snakes.
yeah,
And I have like a person's face in mind, like not somebody I even know, but like a face that I've seen that I've just like fallen in love with. And I'm like, I want that face and flowers and vines for the Medusa. So I'm working on finding the right person for that. So maybe soon. I don't know. It might be my guy that I had in fundamentals just yesterday. We'll see.
nice. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So you're a CrossFit athlete. Let's just remind everybody, get back to the point of the podcast here. We talked to you before Syndicate. Just to remind everybody too, remember we talked about the fact that you were like 17th in the Open the year you qualified for the Open, and then you were 17th at the games in 2020.
Yes.
And I made that like, 17 your number. Well, now 11 is your number, my friend.
Why do you say that?
Because you were 11th at Granite Games in 2021, and then you were 11th at Syndicate Crown in 2022.
Yes.
So
let's
talk about it. And you had, interestingly enough, I want to sort of compare the two events for you. So you were 11th in both. At the Granite Games, you had like a really strong start and then sort of not the greatest finish.
Yes.
To end in that place. Now at Syndicate, you had like a mediocre slow start and a really nice strong finish with an event win, I think maybe second to last.
Yeah. Event win, and then I blew up on the last one where
you still got top 10. You're still top 10 the last half of the workout, half of the event. Can you sort of compare and contrast your experiences at both of those, or at least speak to Syndicate in a way that sort of puts it in that sort of context?
I could. So I just remember off of Granite Games that I was, kind of not really. I don't know. I was in the moment at Granite Games, and
Okay.
I know that at the last day was going to be okay. This is going to be your workouts where you're going to have to hopefully you ride out that momentum and you do well on these, because these were the wall balls, and then you had the double overhead lunge and the rope climbs and then the row, and just knowing that those two pieces weren't going to be my strongest pieces. I kind of the competition. There's always workouts that how I look at it is like, hey, there's going to be at six events. There's probably going to be 2 workouts that aren't going to be in your wheelhouse. There's going to be 2 events that are going to be in your wheelhouse, and then there's going to be 2 events to where like, okay, let's play this out right, and and you can do well at these. Or if you don't play it out well, then you're going to have a little bit of damage done. Mm-hmm. So definitely the last 2 events of the Granite Games were my 2 events that I weren't going to do the best at, but I could do good as long as I planned it right. And I think what happened is about to in a qualifying spot going into day 3, I kind of went back into an old mindset that was like, hey, if I want to qualify, I got to win the workouts, and that wasn't really like the right mindset. So this next year, I kind of focused on that and worked on pacing, seeing like, okay, I'm not going to be able to go unbroken. I'm just accepting the fact. And I think Syndicate Crown, I kind of took that in there, knowing that I definitely on the complex, I hit 20 pounds heavier than what I hit in training. So I was like stoked about that. And then the rope climb piece, it was like, that was just, it is what it is. Just go out there and just don't fail a rep, because I'm 5'3", and it's more, I don't jump as high as people, and it's just legless rope climbs for 10 of them. That's the workout, not my thing. So there were some events leading up to it, but day 3 was what I was most excited about, because it was the traditional CrossFit pieces that we see, is the thrusters, the calorie row, and then you have snatches, the sandbag stuff. I do a lot of sandbag work. I enjoy doing sandbag work, so I was like super pumped about it. So I knew, and I knew going into day 3 that like, hey, I'm gonna have to sell out if I want to even have a chance to go to the last chance qualifier. So I was okay with going out there and failing, just
Mhm.
giving it everything I have, knowing that I'm giving myself that chance to qualify. So, talking to my coach, and he was like, you need an event win and you need a top 3 finish. So I was like, okay. So I went out, I just went balls to the wall on that rowing, that thruster workout, and I just sent it. Cause this was my win. If you don't give me 100 thrusters, that's going to be me all day.
Yeah.
So that was my chance to pick up the event win, and then hopefully ride that momentum into the final event to try to get a top 3 spot to maybe finish 7th or 8th place. But fell short, and it's just the mental thing. You got to accept it and then move on from it. But compares, just the workouts were either way. It didn't end up, either one didn't end up in the way I wanted it to. So
Yeah, it's just interesting to look at them both and to see that how differently the weekends went for you, and how you said your mindset was different, but you sort of landed in the same place relative to, the rest of the field, maybe even coincidentally, right?
yeah,
Is Nick still your coach?
yes, he is.
You're still working with Nick.
Yeah.
So what was it like kind of leaving that weekend? And your son was born how soon after?
So June. So like 2 months, 2 months. Yeah, because he was born 4 weeks early. So on my
Okay.
way back, I had a long we had that 3-hour car ride back to my parents' house to go pick up my son, and I kind of my wife and I were talking. Of course, I was like super upset about not qualifying, and I had a long conversation with my wife, and I just said, I was like, I'd feel like I'd be unfulfilled if I didn't give it another go. If I didn't give it another go, and of course, her and I were kind of talking about it with the new kid on the way, and both of us working, it would be definitely a lot harder. So she was like, I want to support you. And so I was like, okay, we'll just see how things go. Nothing set in stone. And yeah, she supports me. I'm going to try to give it one more go to qualify, and then we'll see what next year plays out.
Yeah, that's interesting that you can make that decision right then and there too afterwards. Like it's almost like, okay, now the next part of the season has started, right? Like now I'm training
Yeah.
again, like we're starting over and getting back to basics and doing that.
So I have a quick question for you, Scott, because the last 2 years, it is obvious you have home runs. You have that home run potential that on a given day, you can win any workout. What have you done over these last 2 years to close the gap between strengths and weaknesses? And do you feel you've made progress in that area?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I think I have. I do about 500 wall balls a week. 500 wall balls a week. Constantly doing row intervals to get better. Like we were talking about that thruster workout in the row, even though it ended with a 1,000-meter row, like I was still pulling a pretty good pace, and I looked in control and feeling good. And I literally told him, I was like, I think those rowing intervals that I've been doing have definitely paid off. And Nick was like, yeah, absolutely, it has paid off. It looks like it. So doing that, I'm still developing my strength. I'm trying to clean up my technique a little bit on the lifts. Obviously, the lifts the goal is to not come in last on lifts. but yeah, so hopefully, I want to try to develop my Olympic lifts up strength. The raw strength, I think, is there. It's equal to a lot of the other competitors in the field. But so I'm just really I'm doing more or less practicing like those rope climbs. I'm practicing longer pulls and stuff instead of doing the short pulls, and hopefully that'll carry over to the competition where I'm under fatigue and I'm doing still less pulls than I would be doing a year ago and everything. So it's just more practicing the movements that I'm weak at and getting more confident in them.
Did you, with regard to that wall ball workout, I remember I took some photos of you at the event that you actually posted on your Instagram. Thank you for that. What was that like? Because like people were staring at you guys, like just it felt like we were over top of you. Like if I spilled my soda, I would have like spilled on an athlete like at the starting mat. Like what was that like to turn around and were you even noticing that there were people staring at you, or you just kind of like focused on that very tall target?
I think that a lot of competitors are like this. Like people ask me, what music do you want to listen to? I'm like, I don't even care. I don't even know I'm listening to music when I'm working out. Like sometimes I won't even listen to music. It's kind of the same thing as the crowd. The only time that you can like hear the crowd or see the crowd is like during transition to movements. Other than that, you're not focusing on anything but just, getting every single rep that you need to. So
Awesome.
I didn't even notice people were looking over me.
Mm-hmm. So you make that decision, and then how quickly, like, do you start planning for the off season in terms of competitions and things? Because clearly we have you here because you're going to Rogue. Congratulations.
Right.
And you're qualifying for that. But at what point do you sort of map out the rest of the year before the Open and figure out what you're doing, or are you still working on that?
I kind of just I don't really plan it out. Kind of whatever happens. I knew I wanted to do some like live competition this year, and I was going to do Crash Crucible in South Carolina, because that's a very good competition. A lot of high level athletes there. But with talking to my wife, she was like, I don't, there's nothing. She was like, rather you not go. So I was like, okay, I get it.
There's a bigger payoff with other competitions.
Well, no, not that.
Right?
It was just Rogue is a very good opportunity for me to put my name out there, compete with the best, and get that experience with other games athletes. So I kind of told her, like, hey, this is like an opportunity that I can't really pass up. She didn't even know I was doing the online qualifier. I come Friday and Saturday. I come home. I do 3 of the 4 workouts, and then I come home Saturday. I was in the middle of the Southland competitors camp, working in Mandeville at CrossFit Franco's. I was there with Brandon Luckett, Alexis Johnson, and Will Leahy, and doing there. And I'm doing the workouts. And I come home to my wife, and she was like, "Hey, can you not go tomorrow? I'd really like to like spend some family time or whatever." And because I've been at the camp for Friday and Saturday, I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll stay home." I was like, "But I do have to go to the gym tomorrow." And she was like, "Why?" And I said, I'm pretty sure I'm doing extremely good in this Rogue online qualifier, and I got to do one more workout." And she goes, what is the Rogue online qualifier? And so I showed her that, hey, it's a good opportunity if I do qualify. And she was like, okay, what time you want to go to the gym tomorrow? So she was there watching me and everything. So yeah, she didn't even know I was doing it until like after I came home, I had one workout left. I said, I think I'm doing pretty good. I need to keep riding it out.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Some qualifiers have a blind leaderboard. Now, if the leaderboard was blind, would you have changed your mind about Sunday?
If the leader, no, because I was pretty confident. I did like that. I did it with Brandon. Didn't do them with them, but I had them there, and they were like, "Dude, that's a good score. That's a good score." I was like, "Hey, what do you think? What do you think you would have gotten and everything?" So I was kind of like judging off of other athletes that were there that would say like, "Yeah, I think that's going to be a top score."
Okay.
So that's kind of like helped. That kind of like assured me and everything.
So how did the conversation go when you finally told her that you qualified?
She was like, okay, what does that mean? I was like, well, and then I had to explain to her, like show her some stuff and kind of like, what the Rogue qualifier is, like tell her, hey, 15 are invited. They're taking up to the top 5. These are going to be who I'm competing against. And she was like, okay, sounds good. Like, go do it. Go do it. I support you.
Did you have to go to the part where they give travel stipends to the athletes and everybody gets paid?
Yeah. Yes, I did. Because when I went into Wadapalooza, I did that, and we trip down to Miami, bringing the whole family and all that stuff. It costs athletes a lot of money to go down there and compete and stuff. So I was like, hey, I don't have to like travel stipend, and the top 20, no matter what, top 20 pays out. So that was a little bit more of a it helped me win with her on that one.
I love it.
Not to mention the exposure.
The exposure is going to be great.
Exposure too.
It's just such a small, exclusive field. So we're excited for you about that. Safe to say you're not doing Wadapalooza qualifiers, or are you?
No, I know. I was thinking about it, but currently that's not in my my future. I think
Your travel budget.
Well, no, not only that. I did something I kind of did something to my pec a couple of days ago. So I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it rest up. So I'm not
Okay.
going to try to push it.
You weren't doing ring dips, were you?
No, I was not. I was bench pressing.
Okay. That's concerning. How's your neck?
Still very it's not the best still, but
Okay.
I can sleep in pain free now. That's the good
Okay.
thing. I've been really taking since that neck injury. I've been religious about a PT program and everything, and really trying to focus on proper muscle engagement. So I'm relaxing the traps and engaging the back to help support the overhead movements, and so that has paid off tremendously. Ever since I've been doing that, I was on that for about 3 months, and I was finally like pain free. It took about 6 months to get over it. And then every now and then I'll still wake up like, oh man, my neck's like super stiff. And I'll just kind of like go out in the garage and just move a little bit and it'll help loosen it up. So I still live with it, but it's not nearly what it was.
You're managing it.
Yes.
Good. Do we don't know any workouts for Rogue yet, right?
Not yet.
Did they release workouts early last year, Scott? Do you remember?
They do release them early, but it's usually not right, like 2 weeks before, maybe a week before, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like typical of these competitions, they release it about 5 days prior to where you might get 3 days to practice it, but by then the athletes are kind of tapering down for the event, so it's more of just like practicing movements, maybe do a smooth run through. Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting to see if they post out a post. I heard Josh Bridges and Chris Spiel are programming it. So some of my friends reached out and told me that, and I was like, okay.
So we don't know what the workouts are, but we know traditionally kind of what Rogue puts out for their workouts, and Josh Bridges did the 2019 version of the Rogue Invitational. Spieler and Froning did last year, and now it's Spieler and Bridges this year.
From my understanding, yes.
Yeah. So, and I have the same understanding from my sources, but it's generally a power output event because Rogue wants to highlight the equipment that they have.
Yes.
So that isn't necessarily in Scott Tetlow's magic bag of tricks. How are you going to attack something like that? Or do you need something like that to prove where you are at this point in your progress?
No, I don't think I need something like that to prove where I'm at. I think, I haven't really made the games. I've made the game one time, but I've always been consistently at the top. Like people, I'm kind of like, I feel like it could go either way for me. So I don't think I need to prove myself to anything. To anyone, it's more or less proving it to myself that, hey, the training, what I've done to the training, I've practiced this kind of stuff to help me build, to get that, to know that I've put in the work and, gotten that confidence in it. Their power outputs is, just got to be smart about it and knowing that it might not be in my wheelhouse. And, other athletes probably think of this too. So it's kind of more like, hey, what can I do to maximize my time on this workout and kind of like plan it out accordingly.
You also said you love sandbags.
I do.
They always seem to feature like strongman type sandbag events. Are you looking forward to something like that?
I am. Yes. Sandbags. So I actually just went out and got a 250-pound sandbag, filled it up with some sand. So 250 feels a lot different than 200. That's for sure. But that's what, going back and looking at the workouts, you kind of got to do some research and to help prepare for this year.
Yeah.
Do you fill that with sand yourself? Is it playground sand or is it like pebbles?
I had to go to Home Depot and get the sand, but before my 200-pounder that I have, I took from the beach.
Oh, cool.
So.
That's cool. So how do you weigh those? Because I just got a 150 sandbag for our gym. We have like 70s and 100s, and I thought it was time to do a 170, but 150, but we put 140 in it just to sort of get everybody used to it before we like jam it. And we're literally like standing on a scale and then picking up the bag and then trying not to break the scale. Is that sort of the method that you use?
That's how you weigh it. Unless you got like some giant, unless you got some like big like auto scale or something that big enough to put it on. But I mean,
I
I
could
don't
take
have
it to
that.
the vet with me. They have scales at the vet that you
There you
could
go.
put
You can
the.
definitely do that. Yeah.
But
take
then
it
I'd
to
have
the
to
vet.
carry it in. That would, people would
That
be
would be
staring
the
at
worst. Yeah. So like whenever I do my sandbag workouts, I move everything to the sandbag and I just roll out
me.
the
Oh,
sandbag real
right.
quick, put it back.
That's good. I
So
love it.
one of my highlights from the games this year was I was walking through the parking lot and a group of people had bought a Husafel stone sandbag,
Those are
and they were
the diamond
the
or the
triangle.
Yeah.
triangle ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Rogue won't take it to your car. Like once you buy it, you have to take it to the car. So the three of them were like relay racing as far as they could go with it, drop. Then the next one would pick it up, go as far as I could, drop, and all the way to the car. It was hilarious.
That's I know. So I train in like 3 different places, depending on my schedule. So I've taken I load up my car with the sandbag or the sled. I take it to work. I got a 150 over at the gym out in town I go to. I got my 200 here. So I'm constantly moving equipment around. So I know exactly how that feels. Like I gotta park all the way over here and then carry it into the gym or something. So
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know how that feels.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Oh man. Well,
So
is there? Go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say, looking at the qualifier, right? First of all, did you get caught up in any of the judging, reading the directions correctly mess that happened
Yeah.
with the qualifier?
I did. My name was. I had people hit me up like, "Why is your name Why is your name not on the leaderboard?" And I kind of like so because my which workout was it? It was the row workout. So I don't remember which one it was, but it was a row handstand push-up workout. And I didn't. I it wasn't the monitor wasn't clearly shown whenever it started. Like it was shown, but it wasn't clearly shown. So then I had to I had to prove the video that it was that, hey, I did have it counting down. So like zoomed in. It was like, hey, this is what I got. So I zoomed in on the thing and then I put a pick and pick like up on it, like of the real time video, and I lined it up to where it was that, hey, you can see the monitor. And I straight up I told him like, look, I know the video's edited and everything, but this is the best I can do. This is my proof of what I have. And I said, hey, like I accept it. If they don't accept it, then that's fine. I get it. But if they and I can say at least I tried. But if they do, cool. Then that's awesome.
And they did.
So and they did. So I did get caught, and then my name got put back on the leaderboard, and then it got taken off the leaderboard again, and then I didn't know. The first time they got taken off, they sent me an email. The second time, no email or anything, and it was kind of, I don't know. It was like a stressful 48 hours. That's for sure.
Was that for a different workout the second time, or they changed their
they
mind
just
and
took
then changed it back?
They just took it off again, and so I was like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't received anything. Like Tim Paulson messaged me and was like, hey, why's your name off the leaderboard? I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know if you get your invite or something, because they said it was my appeal was accepted. So I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I did get caught up in that. That was a stressful 48 hours for me.
So as an athlete who's competed at all the different levels in CrossFit, do you appreciate the thoroughness of the judging at Rogue, or do you think they've swung the pendulum too far the other way?
No, I do appreciate it. It goes a long ways, and I think at least from the time that we submitted the videos, I think they were actually like looking at all the videos that could possibly like affect the leaderboard. So it's great. I think it's awesome. Greatly appreciate it, and I do like how strict the judging was on that. Well, I'm sorry. What was the second half of that question?
I just asked did they swing the pendulum too far, or was it just right? And I think
I think it was just right. It's, as the athlete, it's on you to read everything and make sure that it's good. And then also I had like some other people, hey, let's just make sure that this is good. And they would, and they got stuff that I missed. So I was lucky to have them on my side. And I don't think they went too far at all. I think it's good. It's on the athlete, and especially as high up as it is, that it's kind of, I think it's necessary.
So before we went live, you said that you are the least technologically savvy person in the world.
Yes.
doing these online competitions requires a lot of technology with the video process.
Yes.
Do you get more stressed about that process or doing the workout?
100%. I get so stressed about the online process. Like I literally make sure that whenever I'm taping, I get to the gym about an hour early just to make sure that everything's taped out and I get there. Like the process to do one workout for an online qualifier is I for that, what is it? I think it was a 7-minute or 8-minute workout or 7-minute workout. It took me like 45 minutes to set up. I was like, I could have done this workout 3 times by now. And just for one, it's a long process, and I do get, that's the most stressful part about it is, oh, did I miss something? Especially as they hit that one video. It's like, oh man, now I'm going back and I'm looking at all the other ones. Did I miss something, just to make sure that I was good to go? Like I didn't want any other unexpected emails from them. So
right.
it does take a while. It does take a long time. Like I don't warm. That's why I like to get there and I set it up first, and then I'll warm up. So therefore, all we have to do is like, all right, hey, I'm good to go. Let's do the videos. I'm not gonna, now I don't have to warm up, tape everything out, because that's 20-minute process, and now I'm cold. So, but it does kind of that's kind of expected whenever you go to these higher level competitions. You warm up and you go sit in a crowd for a little bit, and you do get. So it's kind of normal, but at the same time, it's not the best feeling.
Do you have assistants that help you with that stuff?
With the videos?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have like a guy or a girl that will like set it up for you, press the button, make sure that the timer on the clock syncs with the timer on the wall, and
I got a guy that one of my buddies at the gym. If I message him like, hey, can you come help me out? Can you come judge me, or can you come up there? I'm going up there to do this. 9 times out of 10, he'll be there. The one workout that I did it at my work, and because of my time schedule and how I wanted to do it, I had to work late on Friday, so I had a 45-minute window at work, and that was the row workout that I did. So I was kind of rushed, and I did miss that, and I didn't have anyone help me out. I just had a guy that come down. Hey, can you come down? I forgot. He wanted to watch me do it, and then whenever he came down, I was like, hey, just push the camera button just to do this. And then he ended up leaving. So it was like, yeah.
So you have to count your own reps in the middle of the workout. Like I can't imagine even having to do that correctly.
Yeah, I did. So on the row one, I actually did. I didn't know on the handstand push-ups what number I was on. So I actually did. I was like, well, I don't know if that was 20. I don't know. I was like one off, and I ended up I went back and watched my video just to make sure, and I ended up doing 22 strict handstand push-ups on the last set, just because I was like, he was supposed to come judge me, and then he got called into work for something. He had to go do something. And
so stressful.
All right, I'll count my own reps on this one.
You did extra reps and you still took 6th.
Pretty good.
Well, no, I did an extra rep, and I went back and looked, and I put my time that I finished the 21st rep in.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Gave yourself credit. I know that I use what is it? One of the WOD-Proof. I use WOD-Proof to like record the videos.
Yeah.
And a lot of those qualifiers are like built in, which is really nice. So the workout's already there for you, and it's got a little timestamp and everything. But I can't tell you how many times after I filmed a workout that it gives me this error message, like your video did not download. Do not hit the cancel button. Try to refresh your screen, and like all these things. And I'm like afraid to touch my phone because I don't want to lose it. And it's not for me, it's for other people that are at my gym. So like I feel very responsible for making sure that it's all like perfect and we didn't miss a rep and everything else. Super stressful. So I can't imagine doing that and being the athlete doing the work.
So whenever I get done filming me, I find somebody like my wife or whoever friend is like, hey, can I airdrop this video to you? Because if my phone breaks or something, I'm unable to recover it. I don't like to take that chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I airdrop the video to it. So I always have double copies of it.
I'd need like 2 cameras or something. I don't know. Yeah, it would be so stressful.
So that brings us back to the beginning of this conversation when you didn't tell your wife we were even doing the qualifier. So you didn't have her as your backup.
I didn't have her as my backup. Nope. I kind of winged this one. I was hoping for the best, that nothing would happen.
Well, I got to say, we've interviewed Tim Paulson and some other people that did the qualifier. Your performance was phenomenal. Lowest finish was 6th place. You had an event win during the qualifier, and that's the Scott Tetlow way.
Yeah.
You got to have one event win,
One
right?
One win.
And but lowest place was sixth, a second, a first, 2 sixths.
Yeah.
That's got to give you some confidence going into this.
It does. It gives me some confidence. However, the workouts are very different at the Rogue. You know, they're not going to have
Sure.
those are traditional CrossFit workouts that you can do inside the affiliate. So it's different. It's different style of programming. Which, it's awesome that I feel good about how I did on it, but I just know that it's going to be different. It's different styles, so it's going to be a different stimulus out there on the field.
Speaking of the field, you're used to the heat now, right? That Louisiana heat and humidity's become
still,
second nature to you.
Yep, I'm back. I'm back used to it. I'm adapted.
Good, because there's no inside. There's no inside at the Rogue. It's all outside.
And that's actually, I've taken that into consideration. That
Good.
I'm still down here training. I did a workout yesterday that was, when I got done with it, it was like 5 sets, and on the 4th set, I was like, I'm freaking dying. I got my garage, I got 2 fans in there, and I'm doing all my work outside of the garage in the middle, like 2:00 in the afternoon, and I went back. I was like, how hot is it? And I went back and looked, and it said real feel was like 97 degrees. So, and I kind of made fun. Thank goodness it's fall here and things are starting to cool down, or else it might have been 107 degrees if it was summer. So yeah, it's with it being in Texas, I don't think the climate's going to change that much because Austin's pretty close to the coast.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you from being there last year, it was hot as hell during the day and actually cold at night.
Yeah.
So you had to do both extremes. There during the day, it was like brutal. And then the wind came in at night in that cool evening air, and it was freezing.
Was it in Austin last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it was somewhere else. I didn't even know.
It was in 2019. It was in Columbus at the Rogue headquarters, in the warehouse, and then 2020 was virtual, and then 2021 was in Austin. Yeah, you didn't see everyone getting all their cowboy boots and their belt buckles and the whole athlete experience.
I didn't watch it last year.
You're gonna have a ball.
I'm looking.
The swag is out of control.
Nice. Yep. I know Rogue takes care of the athletes. So
So since you didn't watch it, they built a hill in center field.
Yeah, I heard about the hill. I went back and watched some of the workouts when I qualified. Went back and watched some of the last years to see how the programming was, how the layout of the floor was, and everything to kind of start training for that. And I saw the hill. So I'm assuming the hill is going to be there again this year.
Or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Or something. But that hill was steep.
Louisiana's pretty flat. It's hard for me to find a hill here.
That hill was steep.
I love it.
And sandbag up the hill.
Oh yeah, they did. That's gonna be interesting. So
are you traveling solo, Scott, to this one?
Yes, I am. I got some friends that are from the gym that are coming up there, and I actually got a buddy whose sister's getting married up there in Austin, so he's gonna stop on by. But my wife and my 2 kids are staying here for those days, and it's just gonna be me up there traveling by myself.
Do they give you a coach's pass or no? I guess not really.
They get you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna have my coach there. Nick is.
Nick will be there.
Well, I don't know if he's gonna be there or not yet. It's talked about it. His 2 daughters have one's in soccer, one's in dance, and they both travel. So it just depends on if they both have events that weekend. Then he said that he's not going to be able to make it. But if one of them doesn't have an event, then he should be good to go. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, Kat's always available.
I was going to say, I'm trying to remember what kind of access did coaches have last year, Scott? I don't think they had great access, did they? Coaches were in the stands,
pretty cool access.
Well, they did. Okay.
They have
a private section out in the outfield with rocking chairs and.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
They said they're going to have like a coaches section out there for the coaches, wherever that might be. I don't know.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, give me a call if you need somebody.
Will do. Keep you in mind.
Oh, it's been great catching up with you, Scott. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. It's been good to hear like a little bit about your experience from Syndicate that we didn't really get to hear about when we talked to you at the games. I'm excited about things that are going on with your family. Check in with us with a new tattoo, all that stuff. But
and thank you for being one of our correspondents during the games.
yes.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Of course, I enjoy it. Hey, anytime. I enjoy this.
And you know, we may even like reach out to you maybe after the weekend and to give us a recap on the Rogue stuff as well.
Heck,
Absolutely.
we may reach out to you during the weekend.
Yeah, depending on how you're feeling, you know, we might talk.
Okay, sounds good.
Because
Let me know.
because of the strongman stuff, you have a lot of time off.
A lot of downtime. Yes, a lot of downtime.
Yeah, that's going to be the but there's only like 6 events.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a less hectic pace, but based on who we talked to before who've been in that competition, that they say it's like really laid back in terms of you work out and then you got like 4 or 5 hours before your next workout. So
Oh, nice.
it should be good for you.
Nice. Well, yeah,
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's hopefully we'll see how the workouts are, and no matter what, I'm going to go out there and just give it my all.
It's going to be a great experience for you.
Yeah, I'm
for sure
super excited about it.
All right, sounds good. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again.
Sounds great. Thanks.